back, Empower Nation, to another episode of Empower Her Money podcast. I am your host, Angela Duncan, and we have an amazing guest here today. And I'm so excited for her to tell her story. She also launched another book that just came out, so I know we're going to get into details about the book as well. So, Migena, welcome. Would love you to kind of introduce yourself, tell our audience what you do. I know you do a lot, but, come on, get into some of the business side of things. Go ahead and take the ropes.
Thank you, Angela. So good to be here. Congratulations on being comfortable with the uncomfortable topic, which is money. I mean, talk about the confidence there. A lot of people start with like a softer approach. You're like, no, let's get to the point. Let's talk about the money. And I am so excited to continue to support this amazing initiative because I'm always curious to know what everyone in the world thinks about money, their relationship with money, and their breakups with money and makeup with money and all of the above. So yes, I'm super excited for you and honored to be a guest on the podcast, and looking forward to feedback from your audience and collectively provide a lot of value there and different perspectives, of course, because just like with most things in life, when it comes to money, that's also personal. It's cultural, and it's extremely sensitive too, I must say. Not the favorite subject for myself, and I love to talk about anything and everything, but I feel like religion, politics, and money are my top three that I'm like, But anyways, my name is Migena Agaraj. I was born and raised in Albania, in the beautiful Mediterranean. It's a very tiny country, but with so much history and greatness and beauty. I moved to New York City over 20 years ago, 2003. So April 2003. So it makes me now 20 plus years in this country. I've lived more here than I've lived in Albania. So from Albania to the Bronx. To date, I live with my parents and my brother, and talk about money and why we moved here, because of course the Bronx is extremely affordable, and it goes back into the topic of the money, like, is money working for us? Are we working for money? And why are we really saving? So, and as far as who Migena is, speaking on third person now, I know Migena for a fact. She's like full of energy and love and enthusiasm and excitement for the world, for the people, and that has led me to connect, to collaborate, to create, to cultivate, to nurture relationships with who I to this day call friends. And I, for the first 10 years of my life in the United States, I would say 12 years, I was in the restaurant business, from hostess to cashier to waitress to captain. And then there was an overlap where while I was waiting tables, I was also a human resources recruiter for a real estate company that provided the labor for Class A commercial buildings in Manhattan. And then continued.
So that's where your real estate started.
So my real estate journey started exactly over a decade ago, March 2013, when I started as a human resources recruiter for the Class A commercial buildings. And then exactly 9 months later, I was promoted as a supervisor for 3 properties. So now I went from hiring the staff to managing the staff, and also working in multi-tenant building, but still on the commercial side. And that means office space. That doesn't mean multi-family commercial.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So I'm speaking strictly in the office space in Manhattan. So I had 3 locations, and at the same time, I'm wearing pretty much, as a human resources recruiter, I'm wearing a suit every morning, a uniform every night. And when I was promoted to supervisor, I was wearing a uniform every morning and lunch, and a suit every night, because I was working the night shift as supervisor slash project manager. And then exactly a year later, I was promoted to be the project manager at Goldman Sachs, the headquarters of Goldman Sachs. So now I went from 20 employees to 200 employees overnight. Sometimes it felt like 2,000 employees, and sometimes it felt like one employee, depending on the day. And that's when I actually had no choice but to quit. Not even quit. By the way, I never went back to the restaurant. Like, I just never resigned. Like, I always wanted to work in the customer service side. So I'm continuing to cultivate this different, experiences from being HR and then being a project manager and then working nights and days and projects and clients. And then anyways, fast forward, I was a project manager for Hearst Corporation, another billion-dollar company. I was an area director for over 20 million square foot of space in Manhattan, in the tri-state area also, where I had 100% client retention. I was the business development. I was the operations manager. I pretty much oversaw the entire operation for all of our buildings that the company that I was working for had under contract. And then I did that for 2.5 years. I also worked for a multi-billion-dollar company, which was international because they acquired us. And then I went on to becoming the director of business development for another billion-dollar company, still focusing on the Class A commercial building, office space nationally at this point.
And what did you learn from that job that you feel like has helped you now today as a business owner?
From the last one, or as a collective?
As a collective.
Oh, people over profit, people over profit, people over profit. I call it POP, pop. 1,000 billion trillion % heads down. If you want to be successful in anything in life, you focus on the person.
Very nice. I love that.
One person at a time.
Yeah.
Because it's us who make the world go round and not the other way around.
Right.
It's us, the people, that come in and show up on a daily basis with our minds, hearts, souls, emotions. And it's an art, Angela. Mm-hmm. When you and I have hung out, we've hugged, we've sat next to each other at real estate events. And I don't want to make this promotional for others, but I will just say that you and I have hugged, have had lunches together, have sat together, took notes together, have networked together, even though separate, right? Like, we've been in the same energetical room. And you and I, and I'm speaking just for the two of us because it's only fair, would not have the same level of comfort, confidence, and passion if it wasn't for the experiences and the journeys that brought us to that point.
Right.
And that's why we are in these spaces. So what I've learned and what I continue to learn, and I'll show you something because you're going to laugh at this. And I think I'm going to charge CROC for the promotion. I'm on Clubhouse.
Right.
Networking. And the topic doesn't really matter. Honestly, it doesn't. What matters is the support that you give to people and vice versa. So to answer your very amazing question in a longer version, when you place others before your own, I don't call it agenda, before your own personal benefits, that's when you actually are successful. I think that's the key to success. And also meet people where they're at. Also recognize and get to know them better, because I worked in this industry where I had employees from all over the world, from age 18 to age 90, and I'm not kidding. Mm-hmm. People continuously were working, different accents, language barriers. But what I've learned is that there is a universal language that if every single person in the world paused, not stopped, paused, and focused a little bit more on that universal language, which is the language of the heart, mm-hmm. and the mind, I think that's what would bring everyone the ultimate success. It will bring them more money if that's what they wish for. It will bring them the dream house as a result, if that's what they wish for, that beautiful car. It will bring them that vacation for their family that they dreamed of. And it comes back to how you treat the person in front of you, regardless of your connection with that person. It could be the person that's serving you the coffee at the Starbucks, or it could be the employee that's making you shine on a daily basis. That's the number one asset.
Very nice.
One source of your continued success. And what has made me successful, and I proudly say this, and I'm not being arrogant here, I say that I am my number one fan. I will continue to be my number one fan because it starts with me. And the way I measure the success is of how others respect me. And when I was working in that industry, and when I had all these different employees, as they call it, in the corporate world, reporting to me, I switched that. I had this big meeting. I had like the night staff, over 80 employees that never were used to having this meeting. I said, okay, let's go, everybody. We're going to have a meeting. And they're looking at me. Could be their daughter, their niece, who would take me seriously. The rumor had it that I'd been in the industry for only 1 year as a project manager in like 3 tiny buildings. And now I'm at this 2.2 million square foot space, 10,000 government employees. It's like a city. The only thing that was missing there was a pool. Like you didn't have to leave that building. Like everything was there. I was there Monday through Sunday. I had a meeting with them. And the first thing I said to everybody was, don't call me a boss. I am not your boss. I was hired to support you. So in other words, I'm here to work for you. You don't work for me.
Right.
I work.
Good perspective. How do you change that mindset of the people that you're working with?
Exactly. And when they would call me boss, I'm like, no, I'm Migena. I'm not boss. The boss is the person who owns this building. I don't own the building.
Right.
I am hired to support you. I'm hired to work for you, with everything you need. Because I saw my parents, I saw my brother, I saw my friends, I saw my cousins, I saw my neighbor, I saw my fellow human being on this planet Earth, and we are in it together. So it wasn't like do as I say, it was tell me what to do so you can be happier. Come to work so you can have a break from your busy life at home, from that fight with your husband, from the struggle with your child. I want you, when you come to work, for you to actually have a break and
Right.
not work and leave happier than you came, because you're going to have your space, your routine, and I'm there to make sure your vacation is approved when you want it, of course, if it doesn't interfere with the operations of the building. But of course, that's why we're here. That's why we're the managers. We need to manage. And I feel that when it comes to me being in business with people now versus a company, a person, fast forward in 2022, 23, is I think, in full transparency and honesty, it's the love that I have for people and the passion I have for people, and how much happier I am when everyone else around me is happy. And I feel like I'm 100% responsible for everyone's happiness around me. And that may sound very crazy.
No, that's really good, because then if your people are happy, they're going to work harder. They're going to be on your team, which helps you on your profits, right? So
I'm going to work harder. But the thing is, I work harder. Like the harder they work, it raises my bar, because if they're working hard, what's my excuse for not working harder? And it's like this beautiful collaboration. It's not a competition. So yeah, that's what I would say, without thinking too much, has been over and over the number one lesson and a key ingredient to making a successful business, which we may see it as a cake, but like now we're thinking business, we're thinking and my friendship with you, Angela, it's also a business, right?
Right.
Like how much we put in, and it's not like, oh my God, I didn't respond to her text like 10 days later. Now she's going to think I'm I'm this person that's inconsiderate. No, like, and then we get on these calls and it's like, let's pick up where we left. And that's what I feel it's also another way to measure who the people in our lives are and why are they the way they are and how are we showing up for them. And I feel like the way you show up for yourself and the way you show up for others, it I don't, what do you call that? It shows, right? It shows.
Yes, you're being respectful too. All right, so before we run out of time on the podcast, I do want you to talk about your books that you've done. Tell me a little bit, tell the audience about the books, and let us know how we can find you as well.
Yeah, of course. I'm on all social medias, starting with LinkedIn, Instagram. Those are my top two most active social medias. If you are at real estate events, you'll see me there. If you have one of those events that you're hosting for others, I may be the red carpet event hoster for you. You may see me there because that's one of my passions. I also am a TV host and associate producer for America's Real Deal, which is an investment TV show where we feature businesses and accredited investors to diversify their portfolio through supporting these startups, these businesses that are already up and running, not just ideas. I also am a co-author of 4 absolutely phenomenal books. All of them are written by women. The first 3 books are called Powerful Female Immigrants, and it's volume 1 through 3. And to date, I am the only author that's participating in all 3 volumes. You can find them on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and 100% of the profits for all the powerful female immigrants go to saving and rescuing children, women in third world countries against human trafficking. And yeah, I'm a proud co-author and sharing my stories. The 3rd volume is launching October in Dallas. And as a result, the idea came for a friend of mine and I were speaking, and I'm like, hey, Brooke, we should write a book about women in real estate. She's like, oh my God, let's do it. So I was speaking into the universe this idea, and Brooke is a doer, just like myself. And she's like, let's go, let's charge. I'm like, all right, let's talk to my publisher. Let's do this. And now we are launching a book titled Real Women in Real Estate, August 1st in Dallas, 27 stories with 30 women, because a few of them are coming in as couples, as partners, as sisters. It's amazing. These women are from all over the world who live in the United States, and we all are sharing our journeys in real estate, from multifamily to real estate agents, to brokers, to you name it, to coaches in real estate, to as I am myself a passive and active investor, to you name it. And you can find that book on Amazon as well. We are going to have a pre-sale. We have links working on at the moment, but people can actually go online and pre-buy. And that book is actually, all of our women, including myself, have charities of our choices. So all the profits will also go towards helping humanity get better and better every day through our journeys in real estate. And we have a wait list for volume 2 that's coming up spring 2024. So if anybody is interested, it's very limited. Angela, you'll be in it for sure because I'll force you. I mean, you're in already. But yeah, those are the books. And what else? And we'll save the baby for last. I opened my own consulting company called Eagles MA LLC last year, where I am all about, I'm like a global focus connector. I'm a business matchmaker. There is a lot of hints of real estate in my consulting, but for me, it's like all about people. Regardless what your business is, I know a lot of who's, including myself, and that's what I'm focusing on. And it's still a baby, but it's not a startup because I started it, and I'm not a startup. I started a long time ago. Yes. So for anyone who's listening, please, if you are thinking about opening a business, do yourself a favor and do not call it a startup.
Good advice. It's
not a startup. You came into existence a long time ago. You bring so much to the table. It's just a different business. And I highly encourage you to start and never, ever, ever think about the money when you get into the business. Because I, Migena, quit my 6-figure job last year, starting January 1st, 2022, with 0 income, not knowing where the next paycheck would come from, paying rent and a mortgage, and investing over 6 figures into learning the multifamily game. And to this day, I'm not stopping. And I'm in another amazing program called Multifamily Accelerator, which I highly recommend if you want to go to zerodownapartments.com. That's where I'm hanging out as a student. And please do yourself a favor. Always wear your student hat.
Very true. Always be learning, always be moving forward, always educating yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at, like all over the country, and looking forward to connecting and looking forward to bringing value. And I'm so excited that you get to hear this podcast that Angela is hosting. She's amazing. For all of you who see her, you'll know, but for everyone who's hearing it, you don't see her face. I see her face. I'm privileged. She's just beautiful and kind and has this calm energy about her, and it makes for an awesome podcast. And I am so grateful, Angela, for this conversation today, which of course you spoke and you listened as usual.
I really appreciate you being on today and sharing your tips and kind of your journey too. Very inspiring. I definitely want to be part of the next book, and I want to come support all of you in August and come be there for the launch of the book. So thank you again for being on the show. And I'm Angela Duncan. This is Empower Her Money, and definitely come check out all of our channels and continue to support us, and have a great day, everybody.